Hey guys, I am adjusting my press time. I just realized I didn't fully fix that, so we're gonna get it done now while you guys hop on. All right, guys, I am Kelly Walters, and I'm one of the educators here at Stalls, and today we are going to talk about Cad-Cut Textured Soft Foam. We're going to cut it on our GS-24. We'll weed, and then we will heat apply. What I want to do today is really run through how to do this, where to find all of the information, just in case you forget or you have somebody new to your team, where they can easily go and find all this information without either asking you or just not knowing what to do, right? Our biggest goal is to always prepare you for success and set you up for the easiest possible situation. So as you are tuning in, say hello, where you're from. Again, I'm Kelly, and I am in Kansas City, and I will tell you it is beautiful and sunny out, and it is just gorgeous. So I'm really excited to see some sun. I will give it just a couple more minutes for people to kind of start tuning in. I know it takes just a couple seconds to get those YouTube and Facebook notifications. Stacy is on the other side for me, so she will be the one doing all the behind the scenes, sharing the links, and helping to answer any questions. I'm going to see if I can turn down my second camera because I can hear myself over there. So another quick little, let's see it. Okay, I think I'm still going to have to hear myself, so that's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's artwork is extremely simple, but I love this take because it's a great way for you to create samples, not to give to your customers, just to use as either sales tools or just give them ideas on what materials can actually look like once they are on a garment. One sec. We needed a garment. So this is the Comfort Colors. It's a small. It's one that I just had readily available. We're going to grab it and go. We're not doing anything springy or summery. This is really just a simple tool for you to utilize in your facility, your home, or if you are one that actually goes out and knocks on doors. So let's get started. So textured soft foam. If you haven't seen a couple of videos that Jenna's done, and I know we've got others in production to be released, you should, because I think one of the first ones she did was actually creating a patch and using that kind of texture. So these are definitely more muted, darker colors. However, I think this is a really good way to kind of show the wood grain possibilities. So we've got the brown, you have the, I want to call it raven gold, but let's just 100% check the color before I tell you what color it is. It is textured dark tan. Okay. And then, of course, the brown. Once we peel the carrier back from cutting and we've heat applied, you will really be able to see the texture in this material. It really looks wood grain, but in our brighter colors, it has this kind of squiggly vibe to it. So I really feel like it can be used for really kind of any industry. You could pull the wood grain, you could pull really fun textures and use it for mixed media. Okay. I am just popping in to see everybody that is coming. UK, we've got Connecticut, Sacramento, Texas. I love it. Chicago, Sweden. Perfect. Okay, so let's get going. I am going to use, we're going to use this dark tan. I think it's pretty cool, and this is going to be a different type of combo, and you guys should know by now that I like different. So once you get your material, the first place I'm going to take you to is to the website. So you should get heat printing instructions anytime you order rolled goods from us or any type of product. But in case you don't, or in case that paper gets misplaced, let's know exactly where you can find all of the information. So the first thing I'm going to do is take you to stalls.com, and this is where you're going to go. You're going to go Cad-Cut Direct, Heat Transfer Vinyl, and then you're going to come over to Soft Foam and select that. Now, this is the textured version of Soft Foam, but you will find all 15 colors. So the textured is considered a color. You'll find them all in one section. So as you can see, there is the textured black, the brown, the dark tan, so on and so on. Next, you'll be able to go to details if you want to find more material specifications, an overview as to why you would maybe want to use this product, or any little detail of information that is going to help you. But what I love the most is the user guide. As you can see, we've got a 1-color application, 2-color application, and how to apply it. So each layer would be 15 seconds. And then if you're using the Hotronix IQ, don't forget Soft Foam is an excellent material for caps. There is those heat applying application settings right there. Care instructions, which are a huge vital part of that longevity of the product, and then what it can go on. But what we're going to talk about are these cutter instructions. So you can find the GraphTech, you can find the Roland, which we're going to be using today, and then of course the Silhouette Cameo is on there. Now for me, I always do a test cut with like pretty much anything and everything, because I am using almost every single one of Stahl's products. So here you can see our blade can be a 60, a 70 to 90 degrees grams of force, 0.5 on offset, and then 30 centimeters per second on our speed. I'm using a 45-degree blade in my Roland. You will get a little bit better detail with the 60-degree blade, but I want to show you guys that it is possible with the 45 and how our artwork is going to look after it is cut with a 45, because if you have more detail, you might want to go to that 60-degree blade. So I'm just going to show you with the carrier. You can see that all you're getting is, there's a little bit of the texture. And then, like I said, you will be able to see the texture much better once we cut, weed, and apply. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take this camera angle, because you guys know I like to show you the press, and we're just going to swing it around to the cutter. So bear with me as we adjust this. I know it's not zoomed in, but for the most part, you will at least be able to see how we're loading it. And then I will tell you each button that I am hitting right here to be able to adjust the settings. And if you have questions pop up, Stace will be able to answer them, and then I will come back here. As you can see, I am at the camera here, but I'm going to be over here at the cutter. So the first thing I'm going to do is load our material. So I'm just going to send it through. Next, there are little white dashes all along the cutter, and that is showing you where your pinch rollers need to be. So this is cutting too much material off. So I'm going to just slide it down. And then just work as much as possible to really just maximize our sheet. I try not to have a lot of waste, as most people in the production world would do the same. So I have flipped up our lock to lock the rollers in place. And then now on my screen, it says select roll, edge, or piece. And I am selecting edge because I want the material to go all the way back as much as possible. I hit enter. I'm holding this down because as you can see, it's shooting it out. So the flatter that this is, the more it would actually go back. So just keep that in mind as you are storing material. I have these pretty wrapped tight, and I would say it would be better to have them wrapped a little bit larger. That way when they go into the cutter, they are just, you know, your material is more, it's flat. I guess there you go, it's flat. Okay, telling me I have 18.1 inches to work with for our material. So in our vector cut, I will adjust our width to 18.1. Now, what you saw next, we're going to go back to the website, is we need to be 70 to 90 grams and a 0.5 on the offset with 30 centimeters. I might try to move my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to move. Taking a stroll. Okay, there we go. That's a better view for you guys. I know it's not 100%, but it's better. So what we're going to do is hit this button right here. It says force, and I'm at 130 grams. So we're going to go back down to, let's go to 80 and meet in the middle. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go to menu, and it always takes me a minute. There we go. Condition, there's my force. If you want to adjust it this way, you can. There's my speed, so we will want to take that to 30. I'm going to probably stay at a 25, knowing that I am using a 45-degree blade. And then at my offset, it is at 0.25. So know that those are recommended settings, but if you find something is easier for you and it's working with a variety of materials, all that matters is that you are getting a good cut line and you're not having any hiccups when it comes to weeding, simply because your cut settings are not correct. So from here, one thing that I love about my Roland is that I can adjust my force by the tap of a button. So again, right here, or I can test cut. And I'm going to test cut because, like I said, I test cut everything. And then now I'm going to pull this back. And then I'm going to go in with my weeding tool and just see how easy that is to weed. Now, I couldn't get you can't see this really well, but there should be a little T right here, and it didn't completely cut through. So I'm going to increase to 90 and then test cut again. It's still pulling just a little bit. So I'm going to jump up to 110. So you can see that I am definitely out of our settings, but keep in mind I'm using a 45-degree blade and not a 60. So that was much, much cleaner. And we have our little T that was removed from the center of that square. And then here is our little circle. Okay, so now that I have our cutting spec set, I'm going to actually just play with 120 and see if that's too far. So I actually prefer the 120. That circle from the square just really weeded much easier. So I jumped up, what is that, 30 grams in force. So that is one of the reasons why I strongly recommend a test cut. And as you can see, this is all of our test cuts that we just did. Okay. So let's go back. So now what I'm going to do is show you the art that we're going to be using, and then we're going to go ahead and cut and weed. If you have any questions in terms of cutting the textured foam, just pop them in the comments. We'll do our best to get them answered. And if for some reason we don't have an answer, then we will go and find that answer for you and get it back to you. So fairly simple setup. All you have to do is start with the guidelines and setting recommendations online, test it, and then go from there and just adjust a little bit. You don't need to go from 70 to 120 and then run the chance of completely slicing your material, and then you're damaging your cutting strip, and then we just start all over with a huge mess, right? So take it up in baby steps. That's okay. If you have extra material that you have cut off and you can't really do anything with it, save it for the test cutting. That way you aren't wasting additional material if you choose to do that. Otherwise, you can always choose to test cut from the roll that you've got in there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is take you back to the website, and I'm going to take you to our vinyl designer. Now, in order to use this, you do have to be logged in to stalls.com. It is free to access. You just have to register. So right next to Artwork Uploader in the search bar, you'll find the vinyl designer. And then it's going to take you to a page. Now you can access it right here, keep it a small screen, whatever works for you, or you can choose to select go to full window, making sure you guys can see the full window. And then from here you can import, you can go ahead and add text, you can go to clip art, templates, you see the whole thing, right? So I'm going to go to my files. This is everything that I have created thus far in the visual designer. As you can see, you can even add t-shirts. I'm going to show this really quick. So you can add blank t-shirts to the back and create mock-ups, which is really nice for sending proofs. And if you want to, kind of have visuals on your website without creating anything. So simple artwork, guys. Textured soft foam. Get that. It's just the name of the material. So one of the reasons I really like this idea is because if you had, just go get some really, really affordable shirts. They could all be white. You could choose to use the same color of material throughout all of them, but cut whatever that material name is that you call it, or whatever the true material name is from wherever you purchase it from. So from Stalls, you wouldn't have to put Cad-Cut. You could just put soft foam, textured soft foam. They don't know that it's under one category, but they could see the difference in the texture, the sheen, and whether you have a matte versus metallic or glitter dimension. You're catching the point, and you could also do this all down one shirt. So it could be textured soft foam, ultra weed, glitter flake, metallic, thermofilm, since it has a more of a glossy and a texture to it as well. So create samples for yourself. That way you can show customers exactly what you can do, but make it simple for them to understand and for you to remember what you're showing them. That's the idea behind this. So I have already exported my art. I'm going to take you back to the website and show you how to do that. So from here, you're going to go to File, and you can either choose to save as. I have to get closer to the screen. And that will save in the portal that you just saw. Or you can choose to save and update your art. If you want to save it to your desktop, then you will go to Export. You'll name this, and then you'll click the file that you need, and then you'll select your DPI, so for the quality of the image. And if you want to add a watermark, you can easily do that as well. So we've already export, and we are going to go ahead and cut. So I'm using vector cut. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. Let's do it this way. There you go. Now you can see me and the cutter. So we are going to, one more sec. I can't get it the way I want. So we're going to stick with this. Now what I'm going to do is just feed this material forward. And then I am going to send the blade all the way back to the starting point. You could choose to completely cut off the test cuts that we've just done. I prefer to do it this way, but it's whatever is easiest for you. Send it back in just a little bit. And then now, to set a new origin without having to flip the latch and then completely start over from scratch in terms of setting up your material, I'm just going to hold down origin, and that is going to lock in exactly where to start. And instead of starting from here, it will now start back from down there. Okay, let me pull up vector cut. I'm going to shrink this to 9.5 inches. I really want you guys to see the full texture that this has. And my width is set up to the 18.1 that I already told you. And now all I have to do is hit send cut job. Now, I did choose to do 2 different types of font. I did stick with some thicker fonts as well. You can do script, you could do outlines, but the overall point of the shirt that I'm creating is so you can see the true texture and dimension in this. If you do an outline, it creates a really cool dimension just because it's more of a thin stem. You can see that height as well, but I wanted you to see how the font can change the style of the material as well. So this is done. And then from here, you could either just slice it off, but I think I grabbed my bad scissors. Okay, now what I was saying is save this other slice. I did grab my bad scissors. For either doing test cuts going forward, or you could even do small left chest designs on here. The Roland allows for you to measure a piece of material. So it would tell you exactly how much surface area you could use and what settings you would need to put into your cutting software in order for everything to work correctly. If you don't like to hold on to samples, this is also another good way of, you know, cut off slivers, put those onto a t-shirt as well, and then that could also be your swatches. But because this gives such a good texture, this is one that I think would be pretty cool to hold on to. So you guys know I try to weave standing, and it may not work, so I'm just going to do my best here because you cannot see my weeding table currently. And then I am, here we go. Now this has a really, really soft hand. There isn't a sheen to this. I said there was a sheen earlier, but it's not. The carrier always throws me off, and for some reason I was thinking it had a little bit of a gloss hue to it, but I've messed with soft flock the last couple of days, and I should have known. Let's see. Oh, Lydia, I'm so happy that you created a channel. Best of luck to you on that. Okay, you saw half of that, so I'm sorry I didn't have it up higher, but I was standing and weeding this material. I will say the more open space that you have on the foam, just a wee bit harder it is to weed. But you can see I'm just sitting here picking the cavities out with my hand and not even using a weeding tool. But just keep in mind, I chose pretty bold text, right? Bold font. And this font is actually in the Visual Designer. So this isn't something that we've imported. This is all in the designer itself. And if you really wanted to create a fun mock-up, you could add one of those blank t-shirts in there and do it for a variety of materials. That way you can see. Okay, so we're done. Now we're going to go to the press and heat apply. And let me go. So like I said earlier, you can find all of the details on how to heat apply. Oh, we're starting to go slow. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Possibly. Never mind. Now we're back. Tell you the internet is just driving me crazy lately. Okay, so to heat apply, it's 300 degrees, 15 seconds, 3 to 4 on the pressure, so light to medium, and then it is a cold peel. So now what I'm going to do is move you back to the press and take you on another journey. Now, I do have the 11 by 15 platen still on here from the other day, and that's okay because our artwork doesn't exceed that. Going to just thread our garment on here. And then I am going to do my best to get this centered. And we will pre-press. I'm showing a 4, and I'm going to lift it just a little bit. All right, so 15 seconds is going to be our cook time. And I always like to find the middle no matter what I am doing. All right, good to go. Cover sheet, and it goes for the full 15 seconds. Now, once this is done, I'm using a Stahl's Hottronics auto clam. It will automatically pop open. And it is a cold peel. I'm going to wait just a little bit. I always like to test the boundaries of a cold peel. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Terrible, right? Because you can't see it with the carrier. It's like the big reveal, right? It's like, oh, the carrier's on there. Now we got to pull it off. So we're going to adjust again. I feel like I need about 17 different camera angles to give you guys the best view of everything that we do. Okay, let's see. Let me put this back up. Yes. You guys, if you have tuned in with me, you know that my mic and my internet, I feel like, is always finicky, and I have been working really hard. Well, I haven't. The internet company has, to get it fixed, but I'm telling you, every time it's time to go live, I'm like, come on, please get me through. Okay, so an easy press, would it work with soft foam? This is something you would have to test and wash test. I do not have an easy press. I don't believe Jenna has an easy press to test, so we haven't done a lot of testing with the easy press. So in this case, you have to do your own testing. Just make sure you wash it several times, and make sure if you are doing, say, something like this, then write on the shirt what your settings were. That way, if you find one that fails, you can cross that off the list. And if one works great after several washes, then know to move forward with that as your settings. That's the best way to kind of figure that out. I say if there's a will, there's a way. And if you want to give it a go, then give it a go, because it could work for you. You just have to try it. Okay, so we need to come up with a name for this little camera movement. There we go. So now it's definitely cool. As you're peeling the carrier back, I can get a little aggressive. So just to make sure you are holding down if it's a little cold. I actually like to peel soft foam and textured soft foam when it's warm. To me, that's when it peels the best. And I actually have my fan going above, so it's cooling everything off much, much quicker. But there you go. You can see the texture of this much better on this camera than the one I am looking that you would see me through. So as you can see on this, there is that kind of grain look, and what I don't want to call them squiggles, but the way they curve and kind of go through each other, depending on whatever your artwork is, you definitely see it more. In stems of text, I feel like it definitely looks more wood grain, but in shapes, I feel like you get a little bit more. I'm going to grab one more. I've got it on a mannequin. like the Blair Witch Project. Okay. So this mannequin I have, I forgot it still had a triangle t-shirt that we did. And I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible. Okay, ready? So this is what it looks like in other colors. I don't know if you can see it. Can you guys see the texture on this one? It's looking a little blurry to me. Ian, are you saying you can see the triangles, like the texture in them? So that's what it looks like, kind of going from a graphic and shape perspective. And you definitely get a little bit different of a, different texture vibe than just by going with a standard text. Okay, so let's see. No! Okay, so I will post two things. I will post a picture of both of these in the Heat Press for Profit group. So if you're not in that group, make sure you hop into that group. There's a lot of great information from other users and, of course, other educators at stalls. But I'll try to make sure I can get the texture on the triangle version as well, just because it's, oh God, as I hit her. It's just really easy to see. I need a bigger space. Okay, so you guys, that is pretty much it for the day. If you have any questions, I'll hang out just a little bit. Pop them in the comments. Yeah, PVG. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you by the PVG. They are on YouTube streaming in, and they said it's easier to see the texture on the yellow than it is the others. I definitely agree, and I think it's the lighting on how it's positioned. Let's see. Make and Sip, Jenna and I have another class on the 13th. So go and register for that. Let's see. Stace, do you have a link to our new magazine that you could pop in there? Oh, hi, Pat. Thanks for telling me your name. Let's see. I'm going to wait just a couple more seconds. See if Stacy in Facebook. Jerry, I love to hear that everything is clear for you in Canada. Hopefully you were able to go on our journey of moving the camera and it wasn't too chaotic for you. Into the news from Jamaica, so welcome. I'm glad you're able to tune in with us. Yes, so Ian mentioned if I move my phone away, then I could zoom in. Unfortunately, with how we're streaming, I don't have the capability of adjusting the zoom. So I'll have to send you a picture. Oh, the 12th. Thank you, Stacy. Make and Sip is the 12th, you guys, not the 13th. It is a Wednesday. Don't know why I have 13th in my head. It's okay. It's all right. All right, guys, we are going to be done for the day. And if you have any other questions, you know that you can reach out to anybody at Stalls, and we will do our absolute best to take care of you. Check us out on YouTube. We are putting out tons and tons of content weekly. Jenna will be live with you next Thursday. Then live events are starting to happen, you guys. If you are excited, clap with me in the comments because I know we're all excited. So, all right, you guys, stay safe. We'll see you next time and have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.